Hi, and welcome to the Lemonade Car Show on Rogers TV. I'm your host, Michael Turk. Tonight, as always, we'll be answering all of your car-related questions. The Lemonade Car Show is brought to you by OMVIC, Ontario's vehicle sales regulator, and produced by the Automobile Protection Association. The APA is non-profit, membership association, and it's here to benefit you, the consumer. You can reach the APA at apa.ca or by telephone at 416-204-1444. Joining me today is Freeman Young, President of Crown Rust Control, and Chris Wood of Excellence Auto Collision. Please call us at 1-800-968-7836. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here.
Nice. Thank you.
You know, Freeman, before we went on air, every time I seem to be on the show, you are one of my first guests.
And I love it. Coming back here, and it's rust season. You can hear those cars out there kind of just ouching. You guys are going to tell everybody it's time to start thinking about that. It's a great time to be here.
Welcome, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So you are like the resident guru when we talk about body shops, repairs to high-end vehicles.
Well, I spend most of my time working on these cars in the body shop. Yeah, you could say that. I mean, it's a passion of mine. So I'm continuing education on working on these vehicles, and yeah, I'm always in the body shop.
And you get to work on dream cars.
Yeah, for more or less. Most of the cars are very exotic or high-end. It's a privilege to work on a vehicle such as the cars I work on. So.
Do you ever get nervous working on these cars?
All the time. It's somebody's vehicle that costs maybe over $100,000, $180,000. You have to make sure that it's done properly and right, and there's no shortcuts or mistakes.
You probably have very meticulous customers.
Yes, of course. Yeah, but we're used to that now. So
Freeman, technically, is it rust control season?
Yeah, 12 months of the year your car's rusting in Canada, but Canadian consumer says, I'm going to wait till the fall of the year to come. And so if you go near our centers now, in fact, I was talking to a friend here at the show, and 2 to 3 weeks is not uncommon to try to get into a shop right now because they're booked solid this time of the year. So yeah, it's rust season for a lot of people.
And Crown has been in business, I know, for at least 20 years.
30.
Wow, 30 years.
30 years this year. So it's pretty spectacular. We're pretty happy. All Canadian company, all Canadian product, all the technology was developed here in Canada. And it's a company basically that we live on our reputation. We're pretty proud of how the company has developed and the consumers we take care of.
The question I always get from consumers is, why do I have to rust-proof a brand new car?
Yeah, and I used to make my living, you'll laugh at this, when I first got in this business, I would walk into a car dealership and say, if I could show you rust on this brand new car sitting in your showroom, will you give me 5 minutes to explain my product? And anybody who ever said yes, I never walked out without doing my explanation. And the point is, it's made of various types of metal. A lot of it is just basically steel, very well groomed steel, very well manufactured steel, but its natural state is iron oxide, and that's what it's going to go back to. So all we're in the business is a preventive maintenance. We're going to slow it down, we're going to reduce it, we're going to let you decide how long you want to keep your car.
What do you think, Chris?
I think rust-proofing your car is a great preventative measurement to keep your car lasting longer. Even though every car these days, they're coming out with better coatings, better rust-proof from the factory, certain spots and cavities. They are doing a good job, but there is still a need to, I guess, prevent the rust from coming there, slow it down. It's funny you asked me that, because I've been using Crown since I was an apprentice, and I've never met Freeman. And it is a great product. We have it in our shop right now, and I've been using it since. And I believe that if you can slow that process down, it's going to keep your car's value up. It's going to make you happier, and it won't cost you any money in the future. So it's a very good thing to do.
The tough questions, Freeman.
Yeah.
Consumers are always worried. By installing your product and applying it into a new vehicle, does it void the manufacturer's warranty?
No, if I damage your vehicle, of course, the manufacturer's not going to repair any damage I do. Like if you're in the stereo business and you put a stereo in the dash of a brand new car, and in doing that, you damage the dash, would the manufacturer's warranty on the dash material stay in effect? No, you'd repair it. But otherwise, all the warranty on the car stays. Unless I actually physically, or our shop damages it, then we're responsible for any damage we do. But that's pretty standard with any kind of automotive repair that's done on a vehicle. But you asked about new cars. Can I just give you
Sure.
just one little add-in? I brought this along. We're not going to go through it all. This is a folder with 12 different recalls in Canada over the last year for corrosion-related problems on automobiles. And it ranges from the very high-end cars to what you might consider the low-end cars. And it covers the time period of the last 6 years. And they're all recalls, and they add them all together, it amounts to over 1 million vehicles.
Wow.
So there are still corrosion-related vehicles on new cars. They're doing a way better job than they ever did, and you don't see the holes in the middle of the doors we used to years ago. But if you know how to look over a vehicle, you know where it's going to corrode, and you know where you have to treat it.
Wow.
Yeah.
In these recalls that you're talking about, Freeman, do you know whether or not consumers are actually getting notified of these recalls?
I would imagine this is, anyone who wants to look, they can do the same thing I did. I just decided to print them off today off of the Transport Canada site. So they're actually listed. If your vehicle is listed there, it's listed there. It, identifies the problem, and what steps are supposed to be taken to rectify it. So any consumer can get it, but I'm not going to identify manufacturers and make people feel bad. But go to Transport Canada site, and you'll see the list is right there of all the recalls. Okay. And here's the interesting thing, Michael. 2 of the worst problems in the marketplace are not identified in these recalls.
So that begs the question, why? Why is it absent?
Because the manufacturer in the one case has said they're not prepared to acknowledge that it's a manufacturer defect, and it has to do with paint on the rear quarters of vehicles, little SUV vehicles that Ford makes. And in that rear quarter, if you look at them, if you just go around the highway and watch the escape vehicle, and you look at how many of them, the rear quarters are gone, paint won't adhere. And yet nobody's identifying this as a manufacturer's fault at this particular point in time, but it's an epidemic on those vehicles. And obviously there's another vehicle, the Mazda 3, the rear quarters on those, you take a look at them, it's an ongoing problem that has been going on for a number of years, but they're not on a recall list.
Any class actions with respect to those cars?
Lawyers make me nervous, Michael, even you. Not that I know of, and I hope I'm not in the middle of one of them.
Chris, what do you tell a consumer who has a repair done on a vehicle at an insurance-related shop? 3 or 4 years later, it's rusting, and this is a brand new vehicle that would have been dinged, within its first 3 or 4 months.
So you're asking if they're coming back 4 years later with a little rust on it?
Yes.
Our shop, we fix it. We just don't guarantee repair of rust. If you come to me in an accident or unrelated to an accident with some rust bubbling, we can fix that, but we don't warrant that. But if you bring a car to me and it's hit in an accident and we change panels or repair pieces, and that comes to be a rust issue in the future, that's on us. We fix that. That's because of our material, our product, and our technician, credibility.
So if it's a new vehicle then that's involved in a collision, your recommendation would be to replace the panel rather than to repair?
Depends on the extent of the damage. Our technicians and our estimators will do an excessive analysis of the damage to determine which is best for the vehicle and which is best for the owner and the value of the vehicle, to keep the vehicle value up.
But if the repaired panel is going to rust, there's no warranty on that?
No, there is.
Oh, there is?
There is, guaranteed. 100% for life as long as you own the vehicle. I'm just saying, if you bring a car to me that has rust, that hasn't been touched before, we don't warrant that because it's already started to rust. We will repair it. In most chances, I haven't had any customer complaint for a very, very long time. We will repair it, and we will make sure that we put the right material, the coatings, and we will repair it as per the vehicle manufacturer recommendation. So that car shouldn't have an issue.
And what would you recommend to a consumer who is basically, it seems like probably had a shoddy repair the first time around and is coming to you for the second time?
You know, we would probably analyze what's happened and how it was repaired. I can usually tell how much of material and what kind of material. You can tell a good material and a bad material. I always recommend, if you have your car in an accident or you scratch it, take it to the manufacturer, give it to the dealer. They'll send it to the right shop.
Okay, thanks, Chris. The Lemonade Car Show, brought to you by OMVIC, Ontario's motor vehicle sales regulator, returns after this short break. When we return, it's Ask a Mechanic. If you'd like to ask our experts a question, please call us, 1-800-968-7836. Stay tuned.